Here be the resting place of Jacaerys Valyrian, returned in death to the sea along with his brother Lucerys and their fake aunt Laena. Oh, never mind, Baela just snatched him out of the damn drink. House of the Dragon Season 3 Episode 2 is titled Queen's Landing. Alright, that's pretty good. Queen's Landing? That's not bad. Way better than the Queen Who Ever Was, that's for sure. No spoilers for the future of House of the Dragon, but if I do, I'll warn you first. I shan't linger on this scene too long because seeing people cry is going to make me cry, and usually I don't have that problem with movies unless the acting is absolutely flawless, and I'm thinking that's what we've got going on right here. Emma Darcy is delivering probably the most well-acted scene in Game of Thrones history. It's up there for sure with the best Lena Headey and Nikolai Coster-Waldau scenes. This makes me eager to watch Emma Darcy in a lead role in something other than Dragon Slop. Now, that was bait, but with every bait comes a little bit of hopium. Kelly Reichardt, Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, Paul Thomas Anderson, hell, even Wes Anderson? Pick up the phone and call your non-binary future Oscar winner, y'all. Best they/them in a leading role, that's for damn sure. If you even care, here's the full lyrics to Daemon and the Rivermen's victory song. Presumably they're improvising it, which is kinda cute, cause there's no way they were able to collectively write, compose, and memorize a song in the few hours it's been since the Battle of the Lakeshore. Good stuff. I'm always down for a decent jig. That's part of the charm in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms as well. Alice Rivers tells Daemon she wants Harrenhal. She's lived here her whole life, has seen it change hands time and time again, and thinks she can do a better job running the joint. If that's how the rules work, yes, Mr. Trump, I'd like to be president now, thanks. Anywho, this basically confirms that Alice is super damn old, like Melisandre in Game of Thrones, I guess. And I wonder if Alice has lived in Harrenhal as long as it's existed. The Iron King Harren Hoare finished construction on Harrenhal shortly before Aegon's conquest, at which point Aegon handed it to his Valyrian buddy Quentyn Cohaerys, and then House Haraway, and then House Towers, and now the Strongs, of course. I say Daemon should let her have it. There's certainly a vacancy now, but he won't. That's not a spoiler. It's why House Baelish rules Harrenhal now, technically. It just keeps on changing hands, like a dank-ass blunt at the blunt table. I don't really smoke. I really appreciate how pathetically Aegon stabbed this guy to death. Desperate, violent, and at the same time, completely flippant, as if, of course, naturally, he must now kill this random man-at-arms who Larys already bonked over the head and concussed. Aegon says he wants to go to Rook's Rest, the site of his almost fratricide at the hands of Aemond. There are a couple of Charles and Adam Trasks, or Cain and Abel, for those of you who worship the Lord. Anyways, does Aegon think Sunfire is still alive? That he can find him and reclaim some of his former power? I hope he's alive, but we haven't been given any inclination that Aegon believes so until now, which is exhibit whatever of one of my pettiest issues with the show, the lack of magical bonds between dragon and rider being depicted. We can infer it, obviously, and there was that time where they cut back and forth between a stillbirthing Rhaenyra and a screeching Syrax, and that time Caraxes swooped in behind Daemon without needing to be called, and that other time Caraxes did that. But how come Syrax didn't do that for Rhaenyra last episode? Plot reasons, obviously, but you get my point. It's kinda like Star Wars. They just choose when people can use certain powers depending on what their flimsy-ass writing requires. How come Darth Vader doesn't just force-choke the hell out of Obi-Wan right here? How come Anakin doesn't just force-choke the hell out of Obi-Wan right here? Shouldn't everyone be force-choking all the time? David Carradine moment. Oof, that's rough. My bad. Wait, why am I talking about Star Wars? I don't even like that stuff, I swear. What was my point again? That Aegon should have telepathic communication with Sunfire? Whatever, bro, move on.
This be victory. I hope I never see another.
Corlys said his line. It's my favorite Corlys line from the book, and I'm happy they included it. The Blacks won, but at what cost? Jace is dead, everybody's sad, and all of Corlys' hidden treasure on high tide got sacked. Rhaenyra says that she has no stomach for taking King's Landing in the wake of Jacaerys' and Lucerys' and Visenya's deaths. She does have 3 other sons and 2 stepdaughters, but you can't blame her for being sad. In fact, this is exactly how I expected Rhaenyra to act. Last season. Rhaenyra being overwhelmed with grief over Viserys, Visenya, and Luke all dying, so that Jace has to rise up and rule in her stead until he gets Mirish crossbowed, just like his grandpa's uncle Aemon. But whatever. It seems safe to assume that since now Rhaenyra's finally obtained the throne she's been so confoundingly reluctant to fight tooth and nail over for the past 10 episodes, we're no longer going to hear Rhaenyra ask, "What would you have me do?" They have done it.
What would you have me do? What would you have me do?
So what would you have me do?
Nothing.
Daemon reminds Rhaenyra that thanks to Alice Rivers and the weirwoody magic from last season, or just a couple of days ago for him, I suppose, that now he believes in all that prophecy nonsense his brother Viserys was always on about. The darkness in the north, the song of ice and fire, a silver-haired girl in the desert with dragons at her breast. My question is, what are the writers trying to achieve by bringing up the very vague prophecy of Aegon the Conqueror? How is that supposed to motivate Rhaenyra? That someday there will come a darkness in the north and a girl in the desert with dragons at her breast, yada yada yada. Is Daemon under the impression this has to be from their bloodline? As me, a reader and conspiracy theorist, I can connect the dots, but I wish we were told what dots Daemon and Rhaenyra are connecting specifically. Otherwise, the prophecy feels too esoteric to be used as an actual narrative device, motivation for Rhaenyra's claim. Is Daemon's point that if they let the Greens continue House Targaryen's line instead of Rhaenyra, that this silver-haired girl with the dragons won't be able to stop the darkness in the north? Aegon's kids have the same blood of the Conqueror that Rhaenyra's do. I suspect, or at least I hope, that Helaena will have a word for Rhaenyra about astral projecting into Daemon's vision. Assuming that as a prescient dragon dreamer, and maybe greenseer even, that Helaena knows the future?
It wouldn't change anything.
I'm just very skeptical that the writers have a concrete point to all this prophecy business. Side note, I absolutely adore every time Matt Smith and Emma Darcy speak Valyrian to each other. There's something almost romantic about it. Even when Rhaenyra is telling him it's their destiny to do war crimes together.
I need you, uncle. In Nike. Persone ixi. Entrano chimerir zalakonitiliks. Castoti mer pina uragon costondaur.
Oh hey, I found the version of Rhaenyra who wants to kill the Greens. Thought I lost her. I don't really have anything to say about the Helaena-Alicent scene, besides Fia Sabin being absolutely gorgeous. If you or someone you know looks like this, please wait a few years till I've got my shit sorted out and then call me. It seems the writers, through Alicent, are explaining what we've already learned about Alicent, that she regrets supporting Aegon, using Helaena as a stand-in for simple-minded normies like me to get some exposition. Why has Alicent flipped over to Rhaenyra? She struck out with her 2 sons. What about Daeron? Shut up. What about Aegon's ineptitude and Aemon's cruelty did Alicent not already know before supporting their claim? It doesn't matter. Look at the pretty dragon. Damn, he's just like Unk for real. You know, if you think about it, the last time Vhagar was here at Harrenhal was to burn it the first time with Visenya 130 years ago. So this is just natural for her. If you're a brick in the Kingspire Tower, you hate to see that dragon coming. There are supposed to be 3 hills here, by the way. 3 hills named after the 3 conquerors. Aegon's High Hill is where the Red Keep is. The Hill of Rhaenys is for the Dragon Pit. Where is Visenya's hill? This doesn't matter. What does matter is this scene where Ironrod tries to rape Alicent. Going all the way back to season 1, their relationship has been tenuous.
Have you denied this?
And yet...
One more word and I'll have you removed from this chamber and sent to the wall.
But did it have to lead here, specifically? Is that the most creative outcome you could find to resolve Alicent and Jasper's feud? Putting Alicent into another sexually humiliating position? We've seen her get raped by Viserys, have to exchange feet-related favors with Larys to get information. She was finally having sex she enjoyed at the precise moment her grandson was being decapitated. They've made the same point with Alicent over and over. Her character just doesn't go anywhere. Rinse and repeat forever. And why is Rhaenyra so crownless all the time? I mean, these shots are amazing, but Mysaria just handed her the crown. Now would be a good time to don it. Why are these shows allergic to crowns? Matt Smith was on a Netflix show called The Crown. Do they look too awesome on camera? Robb is crownless, Dany is crownless, Viserys wore his most of the time, and this is a really important time. Some mornings you wake up and say, do I really need my crown today? The answer might be no a lot of the time, especially if the only shit on your agenda is yelling at your small council and eating Masaria's box. But this is a certified crown-wearing moment if I've ever seen one. Holy fucking aura, man. Yes, girl, I see it. I see why you're doing all that for your own damn uncle. This shit's enough to make a straight-ish man contemplate some things. Does it make sense for Daemon and Rhaenyra to rush the Red Keep without waiting for a personal guard, in case some of the men Alicent promised would bend the knee might decide to instead favor misogyny? No. But I'm able to overlook an issue like that when what they have done instead is absolutely peak. Large-nutted Daemon making a bloody mess all over the floor? Yes. Small-nutted Rhaenys making a bloody mess all over the floor for no particular reason? No, man. Although, lest we forget, Rhaenys did redeem herself. Rook's Rest was large-nutted behavior. I digress. Everything about this scene is perfect. I feel like I'm watching Season 1 again. It's so well done. I think there's a pretty obvious homage being paid to Game of Thrones Season 1, Episode 7, Ned Stark's confrontation in the throne room, and the City Watch being the ultimate deciding factor. Sir Luther Largent has fond memories of Daemon's glory days leading the Goldcloaks. I mean, he was probably in this scene somewhere, at the Heir for a Day party. Not this actor, but the character, I mean, canonically. Honestly, I don't think this guy was an op even, just wrong place at the wrong time. And Sir Rickard Thorne proves, in the end, that he's the ultimate bootlicker. Nobody enjoys the taste of dirty leather like a Kingsguard. Just absolutely polishing Aegon's non-existent knob, along with these cops behind him too, his buddies on the force. Anyway, I was hoping for a little more out of Otto Hightower, not because he does a lot more in the book. In fact, this is when he dies in the book. But when we got that peak of Otto being imprisoned in last season's finale, I had this whole theory about Otto trying to link back up with the Hightower army, but he got intercepted by the Beesberries, rip the goat, and that was how Alicent and Viserys' final son, Daeron, would get introduced, saving his grandfather Otto. But this is pretty awesome too, and I'm glad to have Rhys Ifans and Matt Smith sharing a scene again, with shades of that same dynamic in the premiere. Just as Daemon told Viserys, Otto Hightower was a C-word, a second son who stood to inherit nothing he couldn't seize for himself. And in the end, what did all those years of Otto Hightower's scheming lead to? A path to the Iron Throne paved with his own blood. Alright, seriously, who once set lost Rhaenyra's crown that day? This would have been a very poignant opportunity for Daemon to place the crown upon his niece-wife's brow the same way he did in episode 110, and the same way he crowned Viserys on the Iron Throne in episode 108. Could have been a nice parallel, but alas. I am a YouTuber, sadly. Ew. Anyways, that's it. Same time next week for my Chris view of episode 3. This video is brought to you by my Patreon, where for $5 per month, you can support me directly, you can watch all my videos early before anyone else, plus you'll get access to exclusive stuff, like Crusader Kings 2. I just began a playthrough of the dance over there, and episode 1 is very funny. I love and appreciate everybody whose name is on screen right here, and thank you as well for watching and subscribing. Alright, goodbye, love you.